Okay, so this is going to be part 2 of the grasses video. This always takes me forever to get through because there's just so much to talk about. So I just wanted to spend a little bit more time talking about weeds. They're a pain. Most weeds in our area are either warm season grasses or annual grasses. Annual grasses, you can have some chemical things that you can do with them to stop them from being such a problem, such as the use of pre-emergence, which stops seeds from opening. And since annual plants regrow each year, if you can stop the seeds from opening, they won't grow. So that's a good way to help your lawn kind of get back into condition. Now, the best way to keep any lawn free of weeds is by keeping the actual grass as healthy as possible. And that's why it's a bit of an economical or ecological problem, is that what's required to keep bluegrass healthy is a ton of water when it's hot and lots of fertilizer and things like that, which wreaks havoc with local ecosystems. So one of the big reasons why I recommend other types of grasses like buffalo grasses is that it's a lot easier to keep them healthy in our area, and you have far fewer problems with weeds. That's why I like clover in my lawn so much, because clover doesn't need a ton of water and it competes really well with all kinds of different weeds. However, if you do have weeds, be aware there's no such thing as a natural quote-unquote weed killer. People will do things like put vinegar or salt or things like that. Back in ancient times, whenever a conquering army wanted to make sure that the local economy could never restart, they would salt people's fields, which meaning that no plant could grow there anymore. They would completely wipe out the ability of that soil to grow anything for decades. And I see these mixes all the time on things like Pinterest, where people will tell you to put salt on your weeds. Don't do that. It will destroy your soil for decades and things won't grow. And they'll be like, oh, I wonder why. Well, you put salt on your soil. Bermuda grass, massive pain. You can use a couple different chemicals to deal with this. Comes from Africa, and there's no real... It's very difficult to control this particular weed. You may have seen it growing through your yard. Usually, the best rule here is to keep your normal lawn healthy. And then you can sometimes help suppress the growth of this one through things like tricloper. Digitaria, that is to say crabgrass, is, a lot of people will call this crabgrass. It's not. This is Bermuda grass. This is crabgrass. Generally, you have to clean it out completely to get it out. You can use couple different chemicals and compounds to kill that without killing your lawn. However, if you have something like tall fescue that's too closely related to Kentucky bluegrass, you have to spray out that area and kill everything in that area and then reseed it if you want to get rid of it. Another common weed, this one's a really common weed. This is Phragmites. You may have seen it up and down our area. It's spread around the entire world. It's almost impossible to remove. It's causing havoc with our wetlands here because it's not native and it's not very nutritious, so birds have a hard time dealing with it. Foxtail. This stuff's nasty. This is maidenhair grass. We've had so many problems with wildflowers with this stuff. If you want to watch this video, I highly recommend you watch it. It's really interesting about the wildfires that we've been dealing with as a result of maidenhair taking over our local ecosystems. Poaceae, another common one. Dactylus, agrostis, quackgrass, huge pain. All these things, real massive pains to deal with as weeds. Ornamental grasses in general, I love them. They're fantastic. You get all kinds of pretty colors and patterns. You get calamagrostis and oats and all kinds of things that have all these really cool textures and patterns. And they don't spread super heavy, but they are easy to divide later in life and keep looking healthy and strong. This is one of my favorites, called Panicum virgatum, because it's got these purple, lurid purple leaves there. And I could keep going for a while. There's all kinds of different things. But we're not going to do that assignment. But here are the key words. I'll leave this up here for just a second to make it easier to pause as needed so that you can study these. Good luck.